if you look at what the president was saying in that speech, I mean, he was delivering a robust defense of government. And is that a message? Because that is really the big debate in this campaign. How much government do we need? Is he on the winning side of that argument?
Well, in all the questions that asked, do you think that there's a role for government or not? Do you think people would be better off on their own? It's like 2-to-1 role for government. And it is one of the biggest gender gaps out there. Traditionally, men have said no, women have said yes. What's interesting is right now, things are so bad that men are split, and women by almost 2-to-1 say, yes, there is a role for government. Doesn't mean government should be in my bedroom, and doesn't mean that government is running my small business, but this is a partnership. It's going to take the best that everybody's got to get this country going again.
Yeah, and I think that the national narrative is going to be interesting. Now, it won't be big government, small government, but it'll be about, you know, Pell Grants and student loans. Guess what? That's government. You know, it'll be about Medicare and people's vision. You know, each candidate. I mean, that is.
But do people know that? I mean, because you've heard
hell yes, they know
people say, "Get the government out of my Medicare."
No, listen. Again, is there a tension between people in terms of this small government mantra and, you know, and what they may perceive that they get or they really get? Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But
I mean, the Republican messaging on this, I think you have to concede they've done a good job.
But they expose themselves. Because they expose themselves in things like the Ryan budget, which Margie was talking about. People like to talk about the Medicare side of it, but you know, what is it, 20% cut in higher education. The last middle class entitlement is trying to get your kid to college. And that means Pell Grants, and that means low interest student loans. So, you know, things like Medicaid, which people don't think about, that 70% of nursing home residents are in Medicaid. This will be played out. We are on the right side of this, and they've exposed themselves on this mantra, right down to what Joel was talking about. People want a balanced approach to the deficit. They will take, you know, 3-to-1 cuts to, you know, making the upper incomes pay a little bit more. We win on that.
There are no Democrats talking about how we should, expand government so there's, huge government bureaucracies handling everything, right? Government takeover of healthcare. That's not actually a Democratic message. There is a Republican message that's pretty part of, what's going on the right, to just cut everything, to just get rid of everything. So I think they've pushed themselves, really too far on this, because people do want government assistance for themselves. Maybe they don't want it for somebody else, but they do want it for themselves.
There's a whole regulatory agenda too here. They throw around the regulation rule, and this is particularly true for women voters again. You want to be on your own with your insurance company? You try to sit on the phone with your insurance company for 6 hours and never talk to a live person? No, I'd like some regulations about what they can and cannot do to me in between. You want to be on your own with your bank? We can't get loans for our bank. Small businesses like us can't get loans anymore. Your houses are going under. So, do you want to be on your own to try to figure out if your kid's water is going to be clean? No. People want some protections. They want safety guidelines. They want regulations, because you can't do it on your own.